The study of consciousness can be very complex, but let's look at how will researchers approach this, starting with big overviews, big concepts. So let's start with ontology, the ontological approach. So ontology is about what exists or what is real. In our example, when neuroscientists study consciousness, they first define what they consider consciousness to be. Is it just brain activity or does it include more? So if a neuroscientist has an ontological belief that consciousness is purely physical, they'll look for its roots in brain functions and structures. Ontology. Okay. Second definition, epistemological approaches or epistemology. Right? Epistemology is about how we can know things or how can we acquire knowledge. In studying consciousness, neuroscientists might ask how we can know what consciousness is. Can we measure it with brain scans? Or do we also need to look at subjective experiences, right? So if they adopt an epistemological stance that consciousness can be known through observable brain patterns, well, this will inform their studies will focus on measurable brain activities associated with conscious experience. Okay, that's a epistemological approach. Axiological approaches, right? Axiology in research refers to the values and ethics of the study. So when it comes to consciousness, right, a neuroscientist's axiological perspective might shape how they treat subjects in experiments or what aspects of consciousness they consider important. Let's look at some examples, right? So for example, they might value patients' experience highly and focus on how alterations in consciousness affect people's quality of life, okay? Another big concept, methodology. There's a big difference between methodology and methods, but methodology informs the methods used to conduct research. If a neuroscientist believes that experiments with advanced brain imaging techniques are the best way to study consciousness, they'll use these tools to collect their data. Their methodology will depend on what they believe to be the most effective way to study the brain's role in consciousness, okay? So now that we mentioned ontology, epistemology, axiology, and methodology, let's put them all together, okay? So in one example, so imagine a team of neuroscientists, right? So these neuroscientists are studying how meditation affects consciousness. Their ontological perspective might be that consciousness is a set of brain activities that can be altered by meditation, okay? Their epistemological approaches will be then to focus on how to measure changes in brain activity when a person is meditating, and possibly they'll use fMRI scans. Now, from an axiological standpoint, they value understanding consciousness to improve mental health. So they design their study to be ethical and to be respectful, right, of the subjective experiences of the meditators. And finally, their methodology will involve carefully planned experiments with volunteers who meditate while undergoing brain scans, right? And these brain scans are sort of looking at mapping out their neural activity changes during meditation. So these four things can be applicable in almost any study, in almost any research. So when someone is investigating something, always ask them, right? What's your ontological approach, your epistemological approach, your axiological approach, and your methodological approaches? Let's follow for more. This is a long video, but of course, this is a 5-hour lecture in a 4-minute